ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
San Diego barely escapes another shutdown, but business owners are still on edge. Why some say they may not survive outdoors through the winter. Plus, parents in Vista sound the alarm about safety concerns as students return to school. Another close call for San Diego businesses worried about having to shut down again. Good afternoon. I'm Kimberly Hunt. And the county is just barely hanging on to the red tier in the state's color-coded reopening rules. But as ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco explains, concerns are growing as we move into winter.
Gym owners across the county doing their best to stay open with just 10% indoor capacity. Scott Lutwack owns Fit Athletics' 5 locations.
We know how to plan for forward progress, and we know how to, recover what we've potentially lost when we plan for the future, as long as we're not facing being shut down.
Indoor operations at restaurants, gyms, and churches narrowly escaped another shutdown with Tuesday's update from the state.
No, it's not surprising that we have counties that are sort of on the cusp.
San Diego County's latest numbers show 7.8 new coronavirus cases per day per 100,000 residents. The state's adjusted case rate based on testing is 7, meaning the county just barely stayed in its current red tier. Under the state's color-coded reopening system, anything above 7 is considered widespread infection and could push us back into the most restrictive tier. The number would have to stay above 7 for 2 straight weeks for the county to fall back into the purple tier.
We know San Diego does a tremendous job of tracking where their transmission is.
If we fall back into the strictest tier, non-essential businesses would have to move back outside, a challenge as we head into winter.
It's going to get, dark by 4:30 in the afternoon. So a lot of the outdoor fitness programming that's going on right now at 5 and 6 o'clock is not going to be feasible in the next, month or so.
County leaders remind people to wear masks and avoid large gatherings. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
Well, meantime, right now, businesses in Riverside County are being forced to shut down again. Today, the Department of Public Health moved Riverside back into the most restrictive purple tier due to rising COVID cases. The state says businesses have 72 hours to comply. Shasta County in Northern California is also rolling back. And major theme parks must wait until their counties enter the yellow tier before they can reopen. The state says Legoland, SeaWorld, and Disneyland can reopen at 25% capacity when case numbers drop. Smaller theme parks can resume operations when the county is in the orange tier, with capacity also limited to 25% or 500 people. Today, Legoland and Disneyland are firing back at these new guidelines, and we'll have the details of their responses on ABC 10 News at 5 o'clock.
The United Kingdom says it will be the first to conduct COVID-19 vaccine human challenge trials. Now, that's different than any other vaccine study. People will deliberately be infected with the virus. It speeds up the research process. Now, pending approval, the process will start in January at a London hospital that will require about 90 healthy young adults between the ages of 18 and 30. Volunteers that the group One Day Sooner has recruited from all over the world, including 3,000 people from Britain.
If the vaccine works, then ideally people don't get infected. And if people do, then they will be closely monitored and treated. But because these are young and healthy people taking part in the trial, I think researchers feel comfortable doing so because the risks of death from COVID-19 are on par with something like kidney donation for people who are young and healthy.
Before researchers test the vaccine, they will do a characterization study. That's where volunteers are infected by getting a vaccine to determine the right amount of the virus to give during the trial. Now, because of the risk, One Day Sooner is saying that the entire process should be made public. Results could come in May. Now, even though that's likely after other COVID vaccines are licensed, it's still important because we need billions of doses and because of the unique data the human challenge trials provide.
Researchers can understand how the virus works in the human body. They can understand the biological markers of immunity. In fact, much of our understanding of other types of coronaviruses come from challenge studies that were conducted in the 1960s in Britain.
Human challenge volunteers are paid and monitored for at least a year after. Now, Moderna may be able to submit some of its COVID vaccine trial results next month for review. Company CEO says the data will be ready when 53 people have contracted COVID and show symptoms. At least half that amount must be monitored for 2 months to determine safety. Now, Moderna is one of the vaccine frontrunners that has not had to pause their trials so far. Meanwhile, as early production of millions of doses of front-runner vaccines is happening, other groups are stockpiling syringes. UNICEF, which buys more vaccines than anyone else in the world, wants to have 520 million needles ready to send around the world by the end of the year.
Schools in Vista Unified School District welcome back students and teachers on campus today. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell has more on the first day of in-person learning.
The Vista School District reopened campuses today, bringing back students and staff who chose to return despite concerns about the district's reopening plan. For the first time in more than 7 months, students with backpacks were seen walking to school at Vista High as the district resumed in-person classes. The students we spoke to had mixed reactions to coming back.
I've been wanting to come back, so.
Why?
Because I just miss going out and actually interacting with people and not being quarantined.
I don't want to catch this corona and spread it to my family.
This comes as parents and some teachers have expressed concerns over the district's reopening plan. On their website, the district lays out the safety measures that are in place, like requiring face masks and cleaning. But it also makes it clear that all classrooms will have the normal amount of students enrolled, saying, quote, "This means that while we will be following social distancing procedures, student seating arrangements will be less than 6 feet apart." The president of the Teachers Association, Carrie Avila, says on the first day back, they're already seeing issues that need to be addressed to ensure that everyone stays safe.
The problem is that it's just not equitable throughout the district. What some classrooms have, other classrooms don't have, and we just want the safety the same for all of our members and all of our students.
Avila says if the county does move into the purple tier, she's been told that the board will schedule a special meeting where they will discuss that situation. Reporting from Vista, Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
A Navy fighter jet pilot managed to safely escape a crash in Central California today. A Navy spokesperson says the pilot ejected safely after taking off from the base at China Lake. It happened during a routine training mission around 10 o'clock this morning. The Navy says the pilot is in good condition. It's not clear what caused the crash.
Google is facing a major antitrust lawsuit. Several states have joined the Justice Department in accusing the company of abusing its power to stifle rivals and illegally preserve monopolies. Now, this follows a years-long investigation into the tech giant and could lead to one of the most significant battles between the federal government and a web company in decades. Google has long denied claims of unfair competition.